my father being he took me as a little baby, early 70s, took me to the field house in front of Coach Wagner and said, "This is my son, newborn son, Leonard. He's going to be a great player, better than me one day." And that put the expectations on me, which I should have followed through, and it haunts me to this day. I have a dream of coming onto the field in great shape, but never playing the game.
That's some Tom Platz of abs right there, everybody.
What's your goal? What are you going up to?
700 pounds ripped. I think there's a whole fucking fetish called the Big Lenny fetish. And I was thinking the perfect thing to do before a workout is to get on your hands and knees in the men's room and lick the floor. Try it. You get in there and lick the floor. Believe me, you'll come out and tear up these weights. Chauncey! Chauncey! Fat fucking Lenny, huh? People say, look at those thighs. Fat fucking Lenny, huh?
You like exercise?
Fat fucking Lenny, huh? Fat fucking Lenny.
Oh!
All right, stop. Cut.
Wow.
And people say, what if you die, Lenny? I was told, what if you die? Well, if I die, I want you to oil it up, put me in the posing trunks, and roll my corpse on that stage next to Dale. I'll still be bigger and harder than him as a corpse.
Just needs mopped.
Of all the creatures to crawl out of the fetid swamp that is the YouTube fitness community, Big Lenny may be the most bizarre. He's been likened to a Sasquatch, an ogre, and a giant cockroach. Even at a glance, it is easy to tell that there is something unusual about Big Lenny. Despite initially appearing as a side character in Jason Genova videos, Lenny was actually one of the original Misfits, dating back to 1998 at the original World's Gym. It would be hard to do a video about Big Lenny without talking about his old powerlifting days alongside the enigmatic Andrew Calora. Lenny would take any opportunity to discuss their exploits and praise Calora's now legendary 650-pound raw bench.
Well, Andrew is arguably one of the greatest gym lifters of all time.
By the way, he's not talking about me, folks. He's talking about
what he did in a gym with no support gear, I don't think anybody could have done. Powerlifter, bodybuilder, I've yet to see it. But anyway, we got a 650-pound raw bench on here that Andrew did when he was 24 years old. No wrist wraps, no belt, no bench shirt, nothing but balls and guts.
And we're going to try to get the video of it uploaded to my YouTube channel.
This feat was made even more impressive because Andrew Calora was 24 at the time, and had apparently only been lifting for a few years. It may seem odd to talk about somebody else's 16-year-old bench press record in a video about Big Lenny, but in my opinion it was strange little things like this that not only made Big Lenny so intriguing, but also added to the mystique of the Delray Misfits. The idea that there was a whole universe of lore and borderline mythical figures that we never even saw made the Delray Misfits videos feel alive and personal. When you were drawn into that universe, you couldn't look away, and a huge part of that atmosphere was because of Lenny and his wide array of strange physical and psychological characteristics. The most obvious of which is his tremendous gut. Although Lenny was given the nickname Fat Fucking Lenny, his gut is surprisingly muscular, at least on the surface. Even when in show condition, Lenny's gut is still incredibly large and bulbous looking. This has led many people in the bodybuilding community to claim that Lenny has the worst case of Palumboism ever discovered. Palumboism being an as yet unexplained phenomenon, named after bodybuilder Dave Palumbo. While the topic of bubble guts has become increasingly common in the bodybuilding world in recent years, Palumboism seems to be entirely different from the malady afflicting individuals like Phil Heath. A bubble gut can be reversed, but palumboism appears to be permanent. Moreover, palumboism also withers the limbs of the sufferer. As the arms and legs shrink, this makes the gut look even larger by comparison. No one really knows the cause of palumboism, but Big Lenny's condition is so severe that it has been suggested that the name be changed to Lennyism. Many explanations for Lennyism have been proposed over the years, and there is some degree of overlap between them. The most logical answer would be a buildup of fluid inside the abdomen, known as ascites. Ascites is commonly caused by liver damage, which would make sense given Lenny's consumption of every performance-enhancing drug from testosterone to elephant abortion inducer. Lenny is also infamous for his use of a product called melanotan 2, which is responsible for giving him a skin tone darker than a Haitian man. However, the name melanotan 2 is often attached to a variety of unverified substances, so the legitimacy of Lenny's supply is up for debate. In many videos, the whites of Lenny's eyes are noticeably yellow, which is another sign of liver disease.
You don't care what you put in your body, do you? Right? You'll try anything. Look at you, he's like fucking, look at that jaundice. Holy fuck, your eyes are yellow.
Unfortunately, it seems unlikely that Lenny will change his ways. In fact, Lenny has treated his massive gut as a point of pride. In his mind, he actually has the biggest and most muscular midsection in the history of bodybuilding, comparing his gut to the legs of bodybuilding pioneer Tom Platz.
I have the best midsection in the world. I'm the Tom Platz of abs. That's my best body part. You stupid moron. I got layers and layers of freaky muscle there. Who else has a midsection like me? Palumbo doesn't. Matter of fact, they need to call that term Lennyism. Dave. Although Dave, I certainly got great advice from you over the years. I want to ask you a question, Dave Palumbo. You wearing eye makeup?
Lenny's, shall we say, unique outlook is probably his defining characteristic, and what intrigues so many people about him in the first place. Like Jason Genova, Lenny is a self-defined freak, and as the Genovapedia says, quote, "Fat fucking Lenny might be the only person who is actually more insane and delusional than Jason," unquote. In fact, Lenny may be delusional enough for the both of them.
You know what I like about, I'll tell you the story about Jason. The first time I met Jason,
Yeah.
I was with my partner Andrew, you know, the big venture.
By the
Jason
way,
was on the
that
way.
video is doing great, by the way, that powerlifting. Did you see it after I uploaded it?
Glad you
Okay.
guys were able to do that. We saw Jason on the leg press and he had that thing loaded. And this was like 8 years ago. And he did rep after rep after rep, screaming and yelling. He was forcing out the reps. One of the most intense sets we've ever saw. We're like, who is that guy? So we came up and started talking and we hit it off.
Yeah, that's how we.
And I'll tell you another funny story about Jason. You know, the gym was packed here at prime time. This is about 5 or 6 years ago. And Jason walked up to the front desk, grabbed a stack of business cards. You know, they're blank on the end. He grabbed a pen. And he went up to each member. He was nice enough to go up to each member and say, "Today's your lucky day. You can have my autograph for free because in a year or two, you'll be paying for it." He signed it, and he was nice enough to pass one out to each member.
Yep.
Did you really do
Yeah,
that?
I did. I really
We
did.
thought that was very, very nice, very philanthropic.
Yes.
He is one of the few people to view Jason's physique in a positive light, and possibly the only person to give Jason genuine praise and encouragement.
Whoa, I mean, look at the legs on him. Look at the quads. Look at Jason's ass. It's tight as a drum. Look at that. Look at those hamstrings.
This is likely because of Lenny's own peculiar bodybuilding philosophy, which he would lay out in his many, now infamous rants. Delivered in a stream of consciousness fashion, Lenny's rants drifted between the topics of bodybuilding, social commentary, philosophy, war, gender roles, and sex.
I'm surprised I got 90. I never knew I was that fucking strong.
You know why? You only use a smidgen of your mind.
Yeah.
It's all you people out there. So much negativity. You're told from day one, you can't do this, you're going to get hurt. This, that, and the other. You got to do this. Women got to go to school. No, you don't. You got to go balls out. Make yourself a Superman. Women need to know how to raise kids and cook and take care of the man, so you make them Superman. That's why you got a bunch of douchebags running around. No one's a real man anymore. It's no secret. And like I predicted, unless things change, we're going to be a satellite nation of the Chinese, and then you'll see what slave labor's like.
While his rants were often barely coherent, the unhinged passion with which Lenny recited them could be eerily convincing. Above all else, Lenny does not want to be what he deems a cookie cutter, somebody who follows popular trends and attempts to fit in with the crowd. Despite railing against bodybuilding pretty boys like Jay Cutler, fans have pointed out that Lenny's typical shaved head and beard look fits the cookie cutter description. Lenny countered this by saying that he sometimes uses the cookie cutter mentality as a psychological tool.
You're right about the beard.
Right.
I'm just doing it for a psychological reason. But the bald head, fuck, I have no hair.
Well, he has no choice there, but rocking the beard with the bald head makes you a cookie cutter. That's right. According to the person behind that little keyboard that
He's
never gets
right.
out from behind.
But you know, sometimes I use the cookie cutter mentality. It's a psychological tool. I like to test people psychologically. That's my fun in life, if you will. I like to see how people treat me with different colors and different looks.
Are you growing
But
that?
he is right, yeah.
If we explore the concept further, it could be said that Lenny's attempt to defy convention and conformity is the highest expression of being a cookie cutter itself. But that begs the question, does being the ultimate cookie cutter make you a cookie cutter or a freak? Lenny's unorthodox attitude pervades almost every aspect of his life, especially the way he views diet and lifting. On one occasion, Andrew caught Lenny eating an entire raw egg.
What the fuck was that? What the hell did you just put in your mouth?
Nothing.
Is that a raw egg?
Don't let the viewers see this.
Oh, they're seeing it.
Actually,
Oh, they're seeing
my
it.
joints. The secret. I hate to give it out. Eggshell membrane.
What?
Eggshell membrane.
What the hell is egg?
Priceless. It's the best joint repair substance known to man.
Eggshell? Is
Plus, I
that?
got a little bit of protein.
So you just ate a raw egg?
There does actually appear to be evidence to support this idea, but other aspects of Lenny's training philosophy do not seem to be as sound. In particular, he became famous for his unique style of lifting that consisted of using relatively light weight with a virtually non-existent range of motion in an attempt to keep tension on the muscle. This was in spite of the fact that Lenny regularly trained alongside Big J Masters, who was considerably stronger. And during particularly intense sets, Lenny was also known to discharge large quantities of nasal mucus.
This is going to be a snot oozing set here, viewers.
Oh, Jesus.
All you booger fetishes out here, and I know there's many of you.
Oh, here he goes.
You're going to see a snot session.
That's piss. Let's see the haters.
I'm done. No, get that away from me.
Lenny's approach to getting into the right headspace for a lift was unusual as well. Lenny would regularly use a psychological technique dating back to his time with the legendary misfit Andrew Calora. From his debut on the Misfits channel, Lenny would challenge YouTube users and message board posters to physical contests with the promise of a liability waiver.
And I'm kind of disappointed because I didn't have any challengers. But I guess these people out here got half a brain that they don't want a piece of this. All you tattooed freaks with your gym gear. Where are you? I'm waiting. Remember, no liability. We'll go right out the back. And if you beat me, get $1,000. I'm sure you guys could use $1,000 to think of all the drugs you could buy. Well, I don't need it. Don't need drugs when you're like that. See that? 370 and hard.
The first notable challenge he made was to Mel Chauncey.
Where's all my challengers at?
What?
Where's all these challengers at?
What
I'm
challenge?
going to issue a specific challenge. Mel Chauncey. CHAUNCEU.
Who's that?
That's as a nobody. But he apparently likes to run his mouth and tell stories about how bad he is. Well, I want you, Chauncey, and you can come and I tell you what, here's a stipulation. You could bring your pliers and try to rip these teeth out of the head like you so claimed. Some 120-pound piece of garbage.
I could buy that for $1.
You got that? You people can look him up. Mel Chauncey.
That's just fucking great.
So-called Hell's Angel. Like that's supposed to scare me? Bunch of fat beer drinking cowards join a group like that.
World Gym, Delray.
Get down here. I'm waiting on you, Mel. I'm tarnishing, trashing your image of a fucking badass.
You're gonna have like 100 Hell's Angels down here at the gym, bro.
I call them, let's see, Hell's queer angels or whatever.
Wow.
Like that scares anybody anymore? Maybe in the 60s, but not now. Bunch of wannabe punks. Gotta put tattoos all over themselves. Let's see how real tough. I'll get under this 405 like I'm doing it. Bunch of queers angels. It's more weight than you wimps out there at bench press. And this is all hugging motion. Like you people hug your blow-up dolls when you're not looking at your porn. That's right. Shh. Lil Chauncey. 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 That's for you, Chauncey!
Many more challenges were made after that, and Lenny received challenges from the internet in kind. Most of them were nothing more than internet trolls trying to spawn ments by engaging Lenny, but one challenger managed to capture Lenny's attention more than any other.
Should we give his name?
Well,
What is it?
Dale.
Dale.chance on Instagram.
Yep. He said, show Big Lenny this. He challenges you to do full range of motion for bent over rows.
First of all, you stupid son of a bitch, I had 2 surgeries on my bicep tendons. Look at my arms for the last time, look. That's how far it goes. Look, see that? Look at that. Can't even put a phone in my ear. Oh, you're bucking the weight up. Get out of here, Dale. Look at you. Ugh, ugh, that is the worst form, you bloated.
For a year, Lenny and Dale Chance went back and forth, exchanging challenges and producing some of the most memorable moments in the history of the Delray Misfits.
You see that clown Dale that sent that video in his bro? He's like this. He's going,
He's not letting go of the Dale
he said
thing.
He's coming here.
He did? He's coming
Yeah,
here?
you're gonna come in here and
Was Dale making fun of
I'm gonna-
Jay?
J- Dale-
Making fun of Jay or Lenny?
I'm gonna force you to keep your back flat when I sodomize you.
He wasn't
when you
making
come
fun
here.
of anyone. He simply posted a video of
That
himself
was pathetic.
bent over rowing 405. Andrew showed the video to Lenny. I thought it was a great lift. Lenny mocked it.
It was a joke.
I thought the guy
That
was
a great
strong
lift.
as fuck.
That's a 45-degree angle. That lower back is not moving up and down. This Dale is bucking the weight up. His face is so red, you know. But like I said, I come down here, Dale. You're gonna keep that back in place because I'm gonna hold it there, if you know what I mean, when I mount you. What, do you live at home, Dale? I was living on the street.
Told you, that's motivator.
How dare you? That's sacrilegious.
Leonard, he's motivating you.
Do a set. No, he's gonna get his
Whether you
fucking-
know it or not.
Yeah, he's motivating me. I'm gonna show him what you do when you fuck challenge legends. What do you think this is, Dale?
He just lit a fire under your ass.
How about the porno when you inject yourself with all that hormone? What do you do, Dale? What's your favorite fantasy? I know people like you. Been there and done that.
I haven't seen Lenny get this worked up about someone in a long time.
Holy, come on, Lenny, do a set of Dale reps.
That's horrid.
Dale
That
reps.
form is horrid.
Andrew, keep that picture right there.
Show him how to do it
Right
right,
there.
Leonard.
Hold that up while
Do
he
it.
does
Come
his
on,
set.
Dale rep.
Come on.
Let's go.
Let's
Come on,
go.
Lenny.
Let's go.
Look at this guy.
Let's see him.
These are for Dale.
Oi.
Come on.
Oi.
Do it for Dale.
Like nothing's on here.
Oh no, he's snotting.
That's what I think about you, Dale. You fucking fat little freak. How dare you? Dale! 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 Dale!
Look at his nose. The nose is starting to twitch. He's getting aroused. That's 135. He's curling like a broomstick. Pretty impressive.
I'll curl you like a broomstick, Dale, and I'll sodomize you like a broomstick up my ass. I'll stick your head up my ass like a broomstick. How's that? Actually, you're gonna sodomize me orally. Wonder if Dale Chance ever licked any butthole in his short little life.
I'm sure you'd lick his. As much as you obsess about the fucking guy.
I'd give Dale Chance a fisting. Obsess about him. Dale Chance. Just think that poor bastard sent his pictures in. Now people are talking about getting fisted the rest of his life.
As with most of Lenny's challengers, it looked like the saga of Dale Chance would eventually fade away without any confrontation. That was until Dale drove down to Delray Beach for the big showdown.
We got big boy Dale here warming up on the treadmill, incognito here with the hoodie on. This is what Lenny said to me. I asked him if he had any idea who was coming today. His first guess was Christina Broccolini. His second guess was the tranny that Jason was hanging out with a few weeks ago. Then he was like, well, it can be any tranny. And then his exact words were, I suppose it could be one of these guys who's challenged me, like Male Chauncey or Dale Chance, but guys like that don't have the guts to come here and confront me.
What do you think about that, Lenny?
After a tense introduction, the two actually became quite friendly. Lenny was impressed by Dale's strength and physique, and before their workout was even finished, Dale was discussing coaching Lenny to improve his legs. And other than a brief period where Emma rode the leg press machine, the meeting was relatively uneventful. It was, however, somewhat marred by Jason's desperate attempts to steal the limelight of what should have been Lenny's big day.
The show I'm doing in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Jay is partners in it.
You want to see how deep I can go? Let's see.
My coach.
Jason hates being upstaged. He hates it. He's so angry right now because the video's about Dale and Lenny and not him.
When everybody went out to eat after the workout, Dale presented Lenny with a box of gifts, including a horny Hillary blow-up doll.
A Hillary Clinton blow-up doll?
The horny Hillary.
Oh man, she humped.
You can wear your Trump shirt.
Dale, where the fuck did you get that?
At Spencer's. Hey, you can wear your Trump shirt while you're banging it.
That's a good idea.
That's a great fucking idea.
No cigars.
Yeah, no Cuban.
She can't wait to share her oval orifice with you.
By this time, it was clear that Dale had become one of the misfits. Where there was once hostility, there was now a mutual respect. However, their rivalry would continue, because Dale promised that he would compete against Lenny and Jason in the 2017 Ruby Classic. Ironically, when the day came, Lenny and Jason placed higher in their respective divisions, despite looking far worse, simply because they had fewer competitors. Lenny's ability to squash a beef and become friends with a former adversary proved that the big man's mind was an enigma even to his fans and friends. Like an ogre, Lenny has many layers. When you think you have him figured out, you discover a new facet of his personality, and you begin to wonder how deep the rabbit hole goes. Lenny has frequently referred to himself as a porn addict, and goes to great lengths not to feed his addiction. He didn't have a car, a computer, or a smartphone in order to avoid temptation. On the other hand, he also referred to a mysterious location he would occasionally visit in the early morning hours.
Now, if you want to see some off-the-wall freaks, take a ride at Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard in West Palm, go east, make a left on Dixie Highway. Say about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning every night. That's where the action is. You heard it here from Big Lenny. Although I only indulge once every few months, just to get out of your system. That's what you got to do, and then you're done.
When his mother eventually bought him a smartphone to stay in touch, Lenny began using it to watch porn and hunt for sex workers on Backpage.
Backpage West Palm Beach
my fucking
transsexuals.
God. I guess you're calling in sick today. So since you're a porn addict, you can't have a smartphone. But now you have a smartphone, but your mommy controls it.
But you gotta
You
kill
should
me
be ashamed of yourself. 46 years old and you have to have your mommy fucking regulate what you do.
Wait a second, you were in my car looking up on Backpage, looking up trannies.
Yeah, Mom.
She's gonna yell at you for that?
Yeah, because she gets charged.
So what did she do? Oh, because you're using...
It's data though, she can't tell what you're on.
Accordingly, Lenny is knowledgeable about a variety of deviant sexual fetishes and often becomes aroused during conversations of sex with other members of the gym, such as another YouTuber named Nate Figueroa, who the Misfit Maniacs dubbed Transsexual Nate because of his knee sleeves.
Do you have a thing for Nate?
Thing. Yes, I have a thing. A thing between my legs.
I think...
Look at his round gluteus maximus when he's squatting just makes me insane.
I think the truth is starting to come out. You're gonna plant a dildo in Nate's gym bag.
No. I have no need for planning. I'm gonna plant a dildo as soon as you know what.
Lenny is also very open about his appreciation of trans women, once stating that his favorite porn star was Nefertiti. You can Google her at your own risk. Not many people agree with his point of view, but that hasn't stopped him from arguing his case on many occasions.
We need to explain something to Lenny. That if there is sexual intercourse and there are 4 testicles involved, there's homosexuality.
Jay, if I could reiterate, in my case, it's just an empty sack. And in the tranny's case, most of the time, if you're gonna get a good looking one, their sack is empty too. Why? Because of estrogen.
Yeah.
But hey, don't knock it till you try it. Training's something like when you try a good one, you're hooked, line and sinker. Here's a message I want to convey to when I reiterated earlier. You're better off being with a hot-looking tranny that takes estrogen than with an ugly, disgusting female that injects testosterone. Enough said.
Lenny even created a sex tape with a transgender woman he found on Backpage. Arguably even more bizarre than Lenny's sexual preference is his obsession with the Canadian actress Christina Broccolini from the show Mystery Hunters. I say more bizarre because Lenny has been adamant that his passion for Christina is not sexual in nature. It's a spiritual link that transcends life and death.
I was watching a show recently.
Yeah.
You know, I don't watch TV much, but I saw an individual that just came in and reached into my soul in a way that I can't describe. I'm trying to figure it out. And it turns out her name is Christina Broccolini. She's an actress and a movie producer from Canada. And she actually spoke to my soul on this show called Mystery Hunters, which is a rerun. And I would just, you know, I didn't want to say anything, I'm that type of guy, but I Googled her. And I saw a few clips from her from the club scene short film she did, and it just took off from there. So I just like to give her a shout. She's a new inspiration, and if I give the seed for Christina, that means that's for you. The inspiration's still coming in every way, not only in the gym, but at work, and in my interactions with fellow human beings. It's really, really powerful and amazing. And like I said, it's not necessarily like a crush, it's just, she
touches your soul, like you said.
Yeah, in a way that nobody else ever really had. And it's a new kind of emotion that she brought forth on me. I'm trying to think of a name for it.
Does she touch your soul more than Andrew Calora did?
In a different way. Like I said, our souls have been intertwined since the beginning of eternity till the end.
Oh yeah, big time
Her
restraining
seeing her
order.
in person is just a formality, which obviously I like to do, but our souls have...
What would you do to her if she actually showed up and you
I'd
met her?
probably start crying. All right, this is for C, for Chris. This is for messing up your... Well, I don't know, I don't trust you, because all you porn addicts out there, I saw it on the internet, and you believe everything that's on the internet. Well, this is what you can believe right here, because you're seeing it.
Lenny regularly used his love of Christina Broccolini to generate motivation for lifts, and even claimed their spiritual bond helped him withstand a tasering.
By the way, I hope Christina, one of you maniacs, send that the remnants of the taser video to Christina Broccolini, because honest to God, I couldn't have done it without her. I couldn't, you know what's going through my mind? The whole time was just her spirit, how it would transcend normal emotions, how she brought out that emotion in me that transcends anything normal like love, pain, hurt on this earth, and went to another level.
Not every part of Big Lenny's life was as amusing as Haitian tranny fetishes or imaginary spiritual connections to Canadian actresses, though. There is a dark side to Lenny's life. Brad the male prick would be the first to discover this fact when he made the mistake of venturing into Lenny's den.
Leonard, are you fucking kidding me, man? Jesus Christ.
I don't know where the stink's coming from.
You don't know where the stink's coming from? Probably from all the shit everywhere, you fucking... Holy fuck. I think this place is worse than Jason's. Leonard, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm definitely not taking a shit in there. Oh my god. I'd rather shit in my pants. What the fuck, man? How do you live?
Christine, I don't live here.
Lenny tried to justify living in abject filth and squalor by stating that cleaning is for cookie cutters. Knowing that their friend was in need of serious help, the misfits set up a GoFundMe to have Lenny's house properly cleaned. The reality of the situation was far worse than anyone could have imagined.
A brand new Westinghouse, as Drew Carey would say, and the girl's like, ta-da!
Oh my fucking god.
No lying. You can see what it is. I really don't care at this point. Flank steak at the bottom.
There's gonna be a fucking decapitated tranny head in one of those drawers. Well, that's cute.
I love cats.
Oh.
And I love Christina Broccolini. What can I say?
Wait, your shower's back there to the left?
Yeah.
You're kidding me, right?
Fucking dare you to go back there.
And for some reason that dirt...
Do it for the men.
Fucking shit, Brad. I hate
I don't know how
you.
that dirt gets on it.
I hate you, Brad. Oh, God.
For the men. Your shorts are rubbing against
Fuck you.
The first company they called only sent out one cleaning lady, who fled the scene without cleaning anything, forcing Brad to call a second company.
I want to make sure they understand the severity of the situation.
It's very severely dirty. But yeah, if you got professional cleaners, they should, I mean, I don't know if they've ever seen shit like this, but no feces involved. Not that I know of.
No feces.
No, in the toilet, but that's you'll flush the toilet.
Sounds like something...
Lenny, unless there's something...
Like you're calling an escort and
Calm down.
negotiating.
The boys played football on the street to kill time, but when the cleaning ladies finally arrived, Big Lenny hid behind his fence in embarrassment.
Look at this
Like a cowering dog.
Look at this fucking...
Like a dog that just tore up to come... Lenny, what are you doing?
Why are you hiding behind the fucking fence?
They're nice. Go say hi to them. You should see what they did to your bedroom.
I'd rather not wait.
While the house was cleaned, it did eventually return to a similar state of filth and disrepair. With an individual as interesting as Big Lenny, it can be tempting to look for cause behind the more unique aspects of his personality. Although we can never know with absolute certainty what made Lenny the man he is today, he has divulged enough information over the years that we can probably come to a reasonable conclusion. Lenny's childhood was difficult. His father, Len Person, was a 12th round draft pick for the Philadelphia Eagles, who gained a reputation for excessive aggression on the field.
Speaking of family members, you mentioned about your, was it your father was drafted by the Eagles?
Yeah, in 68.
Okay, because people were asking about that after you did the video up in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Now, did he ever actually play for the Eagles, or was he just drafted?
He got his knee torn up against the Boston Patriots. He was on the kickoff team.
Len would then force his unfulfilled dreams upon Lenny, who was a talented athlete as a child. He went as far as beating Lenny with a belt for striking out in a Little League baseball game. As Lenny grew up, his father pushed him into football and the weight room. Anything Len perceived as a threat to Lenny's success as a football player was eliminated.
He allowed me, I had a paper out, which, he basically wanted me to do for the discipline. Getting up at 4 in the morning, delivering 50 papers on foot up and down hills of Pittsburgh, and then sometimes you get 20 degrees below zero. Do that before school. He just wanted me to do it for the discipline. So I ended up buying comic books. I like Spider-Man, Hulk, all the old. And he sort of allowed that. He didn't rip those up at the time, but I did have quite an extensive collection at one point because older people would have garage sales, and I would get found an old Spider-Man in great condition. It was like 7th issue, and I believe it's worth a few 10 or 15,000 in mint condition. Came in from school one time, and they're ripped to shreds all over my bed. And I was screaming. My mother said, "Who did this?" "Oh, your father did it." And my father looked at me and says, "Yeah, I did it." He goes, "I didn't think you were paying enough attention to your schoolwork and your football and your lifting, because I removed the distraction." And I thought, what the hell with that? So
This eventually led Lenny to drop out of high school and attempt to join the United States Air Force. However, Lenny would be discharged due to fighting. While most people would consider Lenny's father to be overbearing, if not outright abusive, Lenny has an entirely different opinion. In his mind, he let his father down by trying to fit in as a child, which inspired his current hatred of cookie cutters and conformity. To this day, Lenny is haunted by his failure to fulfill his father's dream.
I spoken to him once or twice in 30 years.
Why?
You know, I wanted to do something spectacular to, you know, make him proud of me, show that, you know, it wasn't a waste. And I have nightmares at least once or twice a month of me in fantastic shape, getting ready to walk on the field in high school, and waking up, never getting to play. 260 pounds, in shape, you know, confident, walking down out of the field house where the team changed, walking on before the start of the game, and always waking up at that point, never getting to play the game. I have this at least a couple times or more a month, ever since I was 16 years old.
It would appear that Lenny's failure at football drove him to search for success in other athletic endeavors. First with powerlifting, and more recently his attempts to achieve legendary status as a bodybuilder. There is an argument to be made that he has achieved the latter goal. His unique look and personality have taken him from being a side character in Jason Genova videos to being one of the most unforgettable people in the bodybuilding community. This fame has not come without a price. Regrettably, it seems that his body is finally suffering the consequences of using every performance-enhancing drug known to man. In the last year alone, he's been hospitalized multiple times due to heart and respiratory issues such as atrial fibrillation. And after recently losing his job as a hospital kitchen worker due to his online exploits, Lenny seems to be more unhinged than ever. It was recently revealed that a friend of the Misfits named Big Lou is paying Lenny $1,200 a week, which he seems to be using on transgender sex workers and drugs, including a recent stint in the hospital because he took too much GHB. At this moment, it looks like Lenny's future is more uncertain than it has ever been before. His antics were instrumental in attracting an audience to the Delray Misfits, but it would seem that the Misfits, as we know them, have nearly run their course. The number of Misfits videos have dwindled to a trickle, and largely been replaced by Instagram live videos and podcasts. A recent attempt to start a Patreon wasn't particularly successful either, partially because some fans prefer that the Misfits stop making content if they are burned out, instead of asking for money in exchange for forced and boring videos. Other fans believe that by directly asking for money, the Delray Misfits were going against an ethos they established early on. This was made worse when fans learned about Lenny's deal with Big Lou, as many Misfit maniacs were under the impression that the Patreon money would be going to pay Lenny's living expenses after he lost his job. Eventually, the Patreon was closed and the patrons were refunded their money. Regardless of how you feel about the Patreon debacle, it's frustrating to see the Misfits so disillusioned with the process of making videos that we used to love so much. Long gone are the glory days of World's Gym and the no-holds-barred entertainment it provided. A situation which led Andrew to ask on a recent podcast if the thrill of the Delray Misfits was gone.
The great B.B. King once sang a song called The Thrill Is Gone. Tonight, I posed a question to those at this table, as well as to maniacs all around the world. Is the thrill gone? And if it is, maniacs, where do we go from here? All thoughts welcome. Lenny, you were in the John. Did you hear me?
Every word.
Yeah.
Loud and clear, every word.
With the fate of the Misfits currently unknown, and Lenny's behavior becoming more erratic, we can only wonder what is next. And there is no clear answer. As always, I want to thank you for watching the video, as well as liking and subscribing. This was an interesting video for me to make because it was an odd feeling to revisit a world that I covered in the past. I wanted to make an introduction to Big Lenny that covered the major elements of his story, since I don't think any such video exists on YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed it because I had a great time making it. Just going through a lot of the old Misfits videos was great. The universe is so weird and complicated that I could probably revisit it a few more times in the future, if people are interested, of course. If you guys like the video and you want to support my channel, please go check out my Twitter and Patreon, which I will link in the description. And of course, I would like to thank my supporters on Patreon. Unfortunate Mishap, Lyra Williams, Adam Carey, Danny, SF69er, Ryan Kyo, I'm hoping I got that one right, Ian Ellis, Jeff Carpenter, Schumeroid again because I forgot you last time, Dan Frank, Mo Dowd, Danny from the show, Jackie, Jack, Todd World Peace, Bone CK, and Irina Volkova.